Today we've got games 2 and 3 of the World Series here in year number 5 of the San Francisco Giants franchise here on MLB The Show 24. We've got a couple of big games today. Trailing 1-0 in the World Series, we cannot afford to dig ourselves deeper into the hole that we're already in after losing this first game 6-9. Normally that would be nice, but not in this case. Both of these teams have made the World Series in very different ways. For us, it was our pitching, particularly our bullpen. For the Rangers, it was their dominant lineup, and ultimately that's what prevailed throughout this game. But it was us who started off strong. We led 5-0 after the fourth inning. Sandy Alcantara was pitching quite well. Then we go to the bullpen, who has been dominant throughout the postseason, and they completely fell apart. Specifically, Jojo Romero and Felix Bautista, who have both been unbelievably good during this run for us. But Romero led up 3, Bautista led up 2, and we led up 8 total runs between the 5th and 7th innings. Our offense had a pretty good day, 6 runs. I think we ended up with 12 hits. No shortage of guys getting on base. No shortage of delivering with guys on base. We got J.P. Crawford back, his first game of the postseason, and he homered. However, it was not enough. The pitching, who has been so good for us through the first 2 series of the playoffs against the Dodgers and the Braves, they forgot how to pitch. So we've got Kyle Harrison on the bump here in Game 2, and then likely Fernando Molina in Game 3. For Harrison, he's pitched quite well in 3 postseason starts so far. ERA at 2.7, whip below 1 at around 0.9. However, he does not have a registered win. In the games that he has pitched, he's gotten no run support. I look at Game 6 at the NLCS against Atlanta. Harrison threw 6 innings. He let up 3 hits, 1 run. The only run that was scored by Atlanta in that game. And, well, obviously we lost that matchup. Certainly wasn't his fault, but rather because the offense got a whopping 1 hit through the entirety of the game. So we're hoping that the offense plays a little bit more like they did in Game 1 of the World Series, as opposed to all the other times that we have had Kyle Harrison start for us throughout the postseason. And then as for the pitching, obviously we need Harrison to produce. I think that goes without saying. But we also want a better game out of the bullpen. As for the Rangers, they're going with the best pitcher on their staff. The 2-time Cy Young winner, Corbin Burnes, will be on the mound, getting the start for the Rangers as we take a look at both lineups. Texas mixing up the order a little bit now that we've got a lefty here in Kyle Harrison, who has been really good in the postseason, despite the fact that he doesn't have a win. It's more so a product of his offense not playing well in the games that he starts. Stephen Kwan gets things started up the middle. Crawford deflects it, and there will be no throw. An infield single for Kwan, who was highly productive in Game 1 of the World Series for the Rangers. That'll bring up Geraldo Perdomo. This one is lined into right, and Texas gets another base runner. 2 on, nobody out. Very quick start to this game for the Rangers. They are feeling good after their Game 1 win, but they're clearly not satisfied. The offense right back to business. Corey Seager, liner to first. Garrett makes the play, tags the runner, double play. Wow, that is huge, and it completely changes the potential complexity of the inning. Now the Rangers are going to need a base hit to get a run across. The 1-2 for Ketel Marte is popped up, shallow infield. Garrett is under it. He makes the play. Texas had a golden opportunity there, 2 on, nobody out. But a really nice grab and double play by Stone Garrett prevents the Rangers from scoring here in the top of the first as we go to the bottom half of the inning, where we take a look at Corbin Burnes. He's bounced around a little bit, Milwaukee and Baltimore for a year, then Texas, but it hasn't mattered where he's played. He's been fantastic, and that is carried over to the postseason. 19 2/3 innings, 2.75 ERA, 1.12 whip. With 1 away, it's Jung-Hoo Lee as they call that pitch a ball. Look at the bottom left. That is clearly in the strike zone, but hey, we'll take that. Full count now for Lee, hitting .533 through the postseason, and that's a walk! Again, I think that pitch was very much in the strike zone. Look at the bottom left. That was clearly in there. We just got back-to-back really lucky calls from the umpire, but hey, I'm not complaining. Angel Hernandez, we appreciate you. Will we take advantage of our opportunity? No. As Munetaka Murakami goes down on the curveball, that wraps up the first. Certainly an odd inning both ways. The Rangers got the 2 early runners, then we got the double play. Jung-Hoo Lee walks off of back-to-back. Really bad calls by the umpire. But ultimately nobody scores as that brings us into the second. Josh Jung, 99 power rating against lefties. Count is full. Swing and a miss on the fastball. Nice pitch by Kyle Harrison. Doesn't want to give him anything too good. And he fooled him there with the low fastball. Nathaniel Lowe, lefty-on-lefty matchup. He got hit, but he checked his swing. Umpire says he went around. That's a strikeout. Yandy Diaz now is up for the Rangers, 1-1. Popped into foul territory. Garrett is under it. Much more smooth sailing here in the second as Kyle Harrison retires the side. That'll bring us to the bottom half of the frame. We'll see if the Giants can get anything going here. We were able to set the tone in Game 1 of the World Series. Obviously, it did not result in a win, but we did start the game pretty well. Blake Sabol gets it to third. Young blocks it with his glove. Throw to first. Is in time! Wow! What a throw by Josh Young for the second out of the inning. Barely getting Blake Sabol out. That was a close one. Jose Ramirez now with 2 gone. Pops it up. Shallow outfield. Seager is under it. He will make the play. And through 2, we've got no score. A 1-2-3 frame for Corbin Burns, who is not allowed a hit through the opening 2 frames. That'll send us into the third now. Adolis Garcia leads things off for the Rangers. He sits behind in the count here, 1-2. And he goes down on the fastball, down the middle, only at 93. I feel like that was a hittable pitch, but he swings and misses. Back to the top of the order. 2 away here for Stephen Kwan. Behind 1-2. And he goes down looking on the circle change. 3 scoreless innings for Kyle Harrison. Started the game off rough, but he has retired 8 consecutive batters. In a way, 9 if you count the double play. He's really settled in after letting the first 2 batters reach base. Bottom 3. Rogers grounds it to first. Lowe makes the play. Corbin Burns has been dominant through 3 innings as the Giants are hitless. This feels like a replay of the NLCS in Game 6 with no offense, and hopefully it does not end with the same results. Geraldo Perdomo leads off the 4th. Hits it down the line for a base hit. The first hit from either team since Geraldo Perdomo was last up back in the first inning. Perdomo now 2 for 2, while everybody else on both teams only has 1 hit. After making it over to second, that brings up Ketel Marte. 1 down, 1-1. Marte hits it well into left. That goes for a hit. Outfield was playing back, so Perdomo's headed home. Great throw by Rogers, but it's not in time. Ketel Marte puts the Rangers on the board first. They lead at 1-0. So finally, some scoring, as that will bring up Josh Young. Behind 1-2, he hits this one well into left. Rogers cannot make the play. Bounces off the wall. Marte rounds third, heads home. The throw from Crawford, gonna be close. Not in time. Ketel Marte scores from first. It's an RBI double for Josh Young. And the Rangers now lead 2-0. The Texas offense has come alive, and Kyle Harrison has got to put an end to this. Lowe grounds out to short. Quick play by Crawford. And that brings us to one of the most pivotal at-bats of the postseason so far. The Rangers have the chance to really give themselves a comfortable lead with a base hit if they were to drive in the run. 3-2, Yandy Diaz fouls off the slurve. Him and Kyle Harrison are in a battle right now. We know Diaz quite well from his numerous stints in the Marlins franchise last year as he draws a walk. 2 on, 2 away, another pivotal at-bat, and this time it's the big Cuban slugger, Adolis Garcia. Count is even, 1-1 with 2 on and 2 out as he looks at the circle change through strike 2. And now that Kyle Harrison's ahead in the count, he can get a little bit creative. The 1-2 on its way. Chopper to third. Murakami's going to go for the throw at first, and it's in time. So the Rangers leave 2 aboard, but they score 2. They put themselves on the board. Geraldo Perdomo gets the rally started. Ketel Marte brings him in, and Josh Young is able to get Marte across with an RBI double. As for the Giants, we're still looking for hit number 1 here in the bottom of the 4th. Could it be for Munetaka Murakami? Liner to short, but it is caught by Seager. Murakami is the one who broke the no-hitter in Game 6 of the NLCS back in the 7th inning. We're certainly hoping it doesn't last this long, But with how well Corbin Burnes is pitching, having only allowed 1 walk, you never really know. Top 5, Jefferson Caro strikes out on the slider. Caro homered in Game 1 of this series. He really started the middle inning rally for the Rangers, and obviously they were able to catapult a big lead off of that. Geraldo Perdomo gets it over to short. Crawford with an incredible play, but the throw to first is certainly not in time. It's been a weird postseason for Geraldo Perdomo. He's now 3 for 3 today. He is now, I believe, 7 for 8 against left-handed pitching. So that's an average of like 870 something. Yet his average against righties is like 125 or something. It's very odd. He has been automatic against lefties and useless versus righties. 2-2 for Seager. Liner to short. Crawford makes the play. And the Giants get through the frame. Perdomo reaches, but no further damage done. Got to get something here from the offense. This is unacceptable. This is the World Series. We have no hits, and we're halfway through the game. Stone Garrett is up for the Giants, and he dribbles it over to third. Might have a chance. Barehanded throw by Young is in time! The rough postseason for Stone Garrett continues, and the no-hit bid survives with the barehanded throw by Young. Blake Sabol, hanging pitch up and away. Base hit into center. He nearly ripped Corbin Burnes' head off. Finally, some offense. Let's see if we can get something off of this. We haven't gotten many base runners. Our first since all the way back in the first inning. With limited base runners, we have to capitalize when we get guys on, and this is a good start. Jose Ramirez, hit by the pitch. 2 on, 1 away for J.P. Crawford, being ignited into a huge spot after being injured for the entire playoff run. Up the middle, Seager, tag second, throw to first, in time! The Rangers turn the double play. We finally get a couple base runners aboard, and in typical Giants fashion, double play to end the inning. Nobody scores. Remains 2-0. I feel like that was an entirely way too predictable end to the inning. Close play at first, though. If only Crawford was a little bit faster, he would have certainly been safe. We're going to keep Kyle Harrison in the game for now as he strikes out Ketel Marte on the slider. And that's going to be it for him. We're going to take him out. That was the plan going into this inning. He was going to face off against Ketel Marte, and then we were going to yank him. And there is a pretty specific reason as to why. 5 1/3 innings for Harrison. He allows 2 earned runs. He's had better days, but overall, he pitched quite well in this one. And if we lose, it's not his fault. Again. So we're going to bring in John Schreiber. I wanted to get a righty on the mound. Nathaniel Lowe is the second batter due up, but the Rangers have a lot of guys who hit lefties in this range, including this guy, Josh Young, who I was most worried about. Count is even, 2-2. Checks his swing. Umpire says he went around on the high slider. Nice pitch by Schreiber for the second out of the inning. Here's Nathaniel Lowe now. His numbers against lefties and righties are actually pretty even as he lines it to left, caught by Tommy Rogers. So Harrison and Schreiber get through the 6th. It remains 2-0. 9-1-2 hitters due up for San Francisco. We'll see if they can potentially start a rally. Tommy Rogers 0 for 2 after reaching base 4 times in each of the last 2 games. Tommy hits it pretty well over to second. Perdomo deflects it, and he has to make that play in order to have any chance of throwing out the speedster Tommy Rogers. He's aboard with a base hit. The Giants have their fastest base runner with their best offensive players due up. Jung-Hoo Lee, blooper in the left center. That's going to drop for a hit. Tommy's headed for third, and he is safe. So now we've got runners on the corners with 1 away. Another opportunity to get some runs across. Back-to-back at-bats with base hits. That's more hits than the rest of the game combined. As that brings up Ian Happ, who has had a lot of big opportunities over the last few games dating back to the NLCS. He has not come up clutch. Can he shift the narrative? As he fouls off the cutter, count is even at 2-2. After leaving a couple runners on in the last inning, I wasn't sure if he would get this opportunity again. Now that we do, we cannot screw it up. As he goes down looking on the cutter for the second out of the inning. Nice pitch by Corbin Burnes. Huge at bat now for Munetaka Murakami. 1-1. He will look at the cutter. That one goes for ball 2. Murakami 0 for 2 so far, and this one hasn't done much through the World Series thus far. 2-1. Down by 2. 2 on. 2 out. As Murakami looks at the outside cutter. Count is now 3-1, and this puts Murakami in an interesting spot. He's expecting a strike. He's expecting a good pitch to hit. Don't force the issue, but be aggressive if the opportunity comes. 3-1, Murakami swinging a miss on the slider. Count is now full. That pitch was on the edge of the strike zone. Hard to blame him for swinging at that one. The 3-2 on its way. Grounder up the middle. Perdomo flips it over to Seager. That pitch was out of the strike zone. Would have been ball 4. It was a close one, so again, you can't entirely blame him. But, man, another opportunity withered away. And we're going to go into the 7th, and we are going to bring in the back-end bullpen of doom. It was more of a doom for us in Game 1, though, with Felix Bautista and JoJo Romero struggling. But we trust these guys. These are amongst the best relievers in baseball. Starting with Jefferson Caro, he goes down on the fastball. Quick 1-2-3 inning for Felix Bautista. Looking a lot more like the guy we've seen through the rest of the postseason. Still 2-0. Will this be the inning where we finally get something going? Stone Garrett hits this one well into center field. Back at the track is Marte. It is gone! Finally! Home run number 1 in the postseason for Stone Garrett. We've been waiting for the big swing from him. It hasn't come. And finally, he delivers. Stone Garrett puts the Giants on the board, and it seems like there's the start of a turning point for us offensively. We had no runs and just one base runner through the first 4 innings, but we got the 2 guys on in the 5th. We got the 2 hits in the 6th. Granted, we weren't able to drive them in, but it seems like we're starting to get something going here offensively, and now the home run by Garrett cuts the lead to 1, and it'll yank Corbin Burnes out of the game. Magnificent performance, though, for Burnes. 6 innings of 1-run ball. Got away from him late. He certainly slowed down, lets up the home run, and gets the hammer. TJ Anton will come in to replace him. The Rangers certainly not as talented in the bullpen as we are, but we're also trailing. The offense is going to have to continue to get something going, and unlike the 5th and 6th innings, capitalize and score. We cannot afford to go down 2-0, losing both of these games at home. That would be a death sentence. So Blake Sabol drawing a walk here is a good start. We get, for now, the tying run aboard. 1-1 for Jose Ramirez. He should not have swung at that pitch, and it might not matter. Hit well into right. It is caught by Adolis Garcia at the wall. Jose Ramirez got aggressive, and considering how far away that pitch was from the strike zone, he hit it really well, but not enough. Full count, 2 away. Leody Taveras, the former Ranger, draws a walk, and we've got 2 runners on again. The Rangers are going to go back to the bullpen. Framber Valdez is in. Framber's a really good player, but I don't think this is the right spot to put him in. Tommy Rogers, who's due up, excels against lefties, particularly lefties who prioritize the breaking ball, and that's exactly how you can describe a guy like Framber Valdez. This is Tommy's matchup to shine, as he fouls off the curveball and now sits behind 1-2. This would be a big out here for Framber Valdez with the tying run in scoring position. Rogers behind 1-2, not an easy pitch to lay off of. It curved inside late. A good take there. If this was 2 years ago, 18-year-old Tommy Rogers, I think he would have swung. That was an easier take, a sinker well out of the zone, and the count is full. 2 on, 2 out, full count, down by 1 in the bottom of the 7th inning. One of the biggest at-bats of the World Series thus far as Rogers fouls off the curveball again. Both sides digging deep into this battle. That pitch was right on the edge of the strike zone, so you can't blame him for swinging. The 7th pitch of the at-bat, up the middle, base hit! The runner rounding third heads home, and this game is tied at 2. Tommy Rogers comes up big yet again, and now we've got a chance to take the lead. Runners on the corners now. A base hit from Jun-Hoo Lee puts us up by 1. 2-2. Looks at the sinker. Count is full for Lee. A walk would load the bases. That pitch looks like it hit the strike zone. Did Jun-Hoo Lee pay the umpire or something? 3-2 on its way. Pops it up. And the Giants, for a 3rd straight inning, will leave 2 runners aboard. This team really has no clutch gene. Now, I will say, unlike the last few innings, we actually scored. Homer by Garrett, RBI single by Rogers. The game is tied at 2 going into the 8th, and we're going to bring in JoJo Romero. He was pretty horrific in Game 1 of the World Series, but we believe in him. He has been unbelievably good throughout the entirety of the postseason. Do not let the mid-4s ERA fool you. He has been dominant. He's going to face off against the top of the order. Couple of lefties early. Stephen Kwan hits it well into center. Leody Taveras is under it. He makes the play. An interesting decision to roll with the lefty here because Geraldo Perdomo is due up. And as I mentioned, he has dominated against lefties. 7 of 8 in the postseason. Lines it into center. Taveras will make the play. I decided to go with the lefty versus Perdomo here because I trust Jojo Romero. I felt like he was going to be able to get the out there, and he did. Now against Corey Seager. Full count. Swing and a miss on the fastball. Jojo Romero gets us through the top of the 8th. Game remains tied at 2. Can the offense keep it going, add some more runs, take the lead, and give Camilo Doval the opportunity to close the door in the 9th? Ian Happ leads things off. This one will go into right for a leadoff single. Give me fuel, give me fire, give me empty bases singles, or I retire. Ian Happ seemingly only gets big hits with nobody on, but hey, better late than never. We're going to replace him with a pinch runner, the speedster Kyler Rodriguez. 1-2 for Murakami, swinging a miss on the curveball. A filthy pitch by Framber Valdez, who's pitched in a lot of big games throughout his career with the Astros. 2-2 for Garrett. Did he go around? No. Stone Garrett mashes left-handed pitching. We just saw him hit the big home run in the last inning to get the scoring started. Full count pitch. Now on the way from Valdez. Swinging a miss on the cutter. Wow, that's a big one. Second out of the inning for Framber. We're going to go to the bench here. We haven't been able to use Patrick Bailey really at all in the postseason. I think he has one at bat. But with Blake Sabol due up and a lefty on the mound, we finally get the opportunity to pinch hit Patrick Bailey. I will say he's probably a little bit rusty. He's gotten one at bat in the last 3 weeks, and it's not like he's been hurt or anything. 2-1, Kyler going for second, and he is pretty comfortably safe. Got a really good jump there, and Jefferson Caro never really had a chance to throw him out. So now we've got a runner in scoring position. Bailey's contact rate increases even further as he looks at the 3-1 cutter. Wanted to take another pitch, and the count is now full for Pat Bailey. Can he be the unsung hero? 3-2. Grounder to third. Josh Young makes the play. Throw to first is in time, and this one remains tied going into the 9th. We are going to bring in Camilo Doval anyway. I don't really see a reason not to put him in this spot. Unlike Bautista and Romero, we haven't used his usage to the ground. So I'm confident that he's going to be able to give us a scoreless inning. Doval's had his troubles throughout the year, but we believe in him. There's a reason why he is still technically the closer. Starting with Ketel Marte. He swings and misses at the cutter, clocking in at 99. Josh Young now 1-1. Over to first. Stone Garrett moves over, makes the play. Garrett's had a really good game defensively, and obviously with the home run, it's hard to be too upset with his performance today. Nathaniel Lowe behind 1-2. Swing and a miss on the slider. Camilo Doval retires the side with ease. The Rangers are on quite the drought. I don't think they've gotten a base hit since probably the 4th or 5th inning when Kyle Harrison was still in the game. Bottom 9, Jose Ramirez leads things off. This one goes into right. Bounces over the fence for a ground rule double. And we've got the winning run at second base with nobody out. This is our opportunity to shut the door, win this game, and do it with some fashion with a walk-off. Crawford up the middle. Valdez deflects it. Throw to first is in time. That play right there was the game. If Framber Valdez doesn't get a hand on it, Giants win it. Jose Ramirez is scoring. Valdez a little bit shaken up, but he's going to stay in the game, taking one for the team. I'm a little surprised they've kept him in this long, but he is pitching well. It's hard to argue with it. Johnny Hackman comes in off the bench for Taveras. Swings at the cutter. That was a full count. It would have been a walk. It would have given the Giants another base runner. Not that they need one, but instead of one out, now there's two. Tommy Rogers skies it up into left center. Not going to have enough carry. This one will be caught, and we are headed to extra innings. Free baseball here in Game 2 of the World Series as we are tied at 2. The Rangers scored their 2 runs in the 4th. We got ours in the 7th, and otherwise there's been no scoring. So Yariel Rodriguez is in for the 10th. This is a guy who can go multiple innings. If this game were to go to an 11th inning, the plan is that he would probably pitch that one too, but we've got to see how he performs here. Starting with Yandy Diaz into right field, base hit. The Rangers open things up with an early base runner. Keep in mind, since this is the playoffs, there's no extra innings runner. So Diaz is aboard to get things started, and that's going to bring up Adolis Garcia. 1-2, pops it up. I don't know why Rodriguez doesn't go for this ball. Apparently it's Murakami's instead, as he will make the play for the first out of the frame. That'll bring us to the catcher. Jefferson Caro has struck out in each of his last 2 at-bats. Count is full. If the Rangers can get another base runner, that would be a big deal. And it will not be from Caro. That's a hat trick. 3 consecutive strikeouts for the young catcher. Back to the top of the order. It is Stephen Kwan. Base hit to start the game, has been quiet since. 2-1. This one gets by Garrett for a single into right. And there is now 2 runners on and 2 away. A huge at-bat for Geraldo Perdomo, who's 3 for 4 today. Granted, he's really struggled in the playoffs against righties, and he hasn't seen one yet today. The 1-1 up the middle. Crawford makes the play. Throw to first in time. Off the bat, I thought that was a base hit. I thought the Rangers were going to take the lead, but we get out at the jam. The Rangers get 2 runners on, but Yariel Rodriguez and J.P. Crawford are able to dig us out of it. Bottom 10, River Ryan is in for the Rangers, another guy who can be used as an innings eater. I still don't like the decision, though. I would have thrown in a lefty here. A.J. Minter and Yuki Matsui are their 2 best relievers. Why don't they go to one of them? Our next 3 batters are all left-handers, and that starts with Jun-Hoo Lee. Hits it well over to second, but Perdomo makes the play for the first out of the inning. Ian Happ is not up. This is Brendan Donovan. He came into the game earlier as a defensive substitution after Happ was pinch ran for. Donovan hits it well, his first at bat of the game, but it is caught in right by Garcia. That'll bring up Munetaka Murakami now. Rough one in the office for him, 0 for 4. But he draws a walk. There you go. Winning run is aboard. Will this be our opportunity to close things off with a walk-off? And look who's up. Stone Garrett, just 1 for 7 in the World Series. His one hit was a big one, though. Homered back into 7th. Behind 1-2. That one gets by him. Some chin music. As Garrett obviously lets that one go, and the count is now even at 2-2. Murakami not known for his speed, but we are out of bench players. We can't pinch run at any point. The 9 guys we currently have in the game are the 9 guys we're going to have to stick with. Garrett looks at the outside curveball. Count is now full. Runner goes for second. Garrett flies it into center. That's not going to be enough, as it will be caught by Marte, and we are going into the 11th. Both teams get some base runners, but nobody is able to score. As I mentioned, Yariel Rodriguez will stay in the game. Corey Seager gets that one by Crawford, and the Giants allow another early runner. So Seager is aboard to open up the frame. He'll be pinch ran for by Ezekiel Duran, who had a big 3-run homer in Game 1 of the World Series. He's going for second off of a wild pitch, and he is safe. I think we almost got the out there, even though that ball was well past Bailey. If the throw was a little bit more on line, we could have made the play there. That was a slow jump by Duran. But nonetheless, there's a runner in scoring position. And now Ketel Marte walks. So there's 2 on, nobody out. We're going to roll with Yariel Rodriguez. His body of work this year in the regular season and the playoffs have told us that we got to trust him, and that's a good start. Josh Young, fooled by the slider for out number 1. That'll bring up the big first baseman, Nathaniel Lowe, 0 for 4 today. 1-1, swinging a miss on the fastball. Yariel Rodriguez looking to heat up. It hasn't been his day. He's led up 2 base runners in the 10th, now 2 in the 11th. But he's looking to get out of these jams. What a pitch. Slider inside, got him looking for the second out of the frame. We've got to look at that beauty again. A lot of movement late. I think Lowe is expecting it to move so much to where it's going to go inside. But it just places in the right part of the zone. And that'll bring up Yandy Diaz with 2 away. Watches the outside fastball. All the Rangers need is a base hit to take the lead. They weren't able to do it with the 5 and 6 hitters. Yandy Diaz swinging a miss on the 2-1 splitter. And now the count is evened up at 2. Yariel Rodriguez looking to get out at the jam. Diaz, it's caught! J.P. Crawford with the grab. I thought Texas again was going to have a chance to score there, but Crawford getting up there, looking like Roman Loggins, burrow the way he was able to catapult off the ground. And again, another close call. Rodriguez lets up 2 runners. Well hit ball with 2 outs, but it is caught. We'll go bottom 11. We have to keep Patrick Bailey in since we don't have any other catchers. He grounds out to second. Perdomo makes the play. 1 gone now for Jose Ramirez. This one is hit well into left center field, and it is caught with the second out of the inning by Stephen Kwan. That'll bring up J.P. Crawford. He's 0 for 4 today, but he's had a few gigantic defensive plays. In the 10th, preventing the base hit for the Rangers to take the lead. In the 11th, doing the same thing with the nice leaping grab. 2-2 from River Ryan. This one is skied foul. Kwan will chase after it. He's got a chance for it, and he makes the grab. Through 11, we still don't have a winner. This game is tied at 2 going into the 12th. So Duvall, Bautista, and Romero are all obviously unavailable. We're running out of relievers, and we're going to bring in the lefty Genesis Cabrera. He's let up 1 run in 5 1/3 postseason innings. Against Adolis Garcia, grounder to second. It's been a busy defensive game for Crawford. Even though he's 0 for 5, he continues to get some big plays for us there at second base. Jefferson Caro now. Swing and a miss on the curveball. Drop third strike. Bailey's going to make the throw. That's 4 consecutive strikeouts at the plate for Caro today. It has certainly not been his night. Back to the top of the order. Lefty on lefty once again for Kwan. Got him looking on the fastball. A much more stress-free inning for the Giants. The bullpen here down the stretch is delivering. Unlike game 1, we haven't allowed a run since the 4th. We've only allowed a handful of base runners since then. As the Rangers are going to make a switch, going with Cole Winn. We're hoping this decision will not help them win as we look for the walk-off. Johnny Hackman gets things started. 2-2, swings at a pitch he should not have again. We really have not gotten much of anything from Johnny Hackman in this postseason. That'll bring up Tommy Rogers now, hits in his last 2 at-bats, won't get another one here. Goes down on the slider for the second out of the inning. Jung-Hoo Lee is now up. He is behind 1-2, looking to keep this game out of a 13th inning. And there you go, single into left field. Once again, we've got our base runner. We can't pinch run for him since nobody's left on the bench. But Lee is pretty fast, and now this poses the dilemma. Do we look to steal second or not? Brendan Donovan with Lee going. This one is hit into the gap. Hustle, hustle, let's go. We can end it. Rounding third, headed home. There's not going to be a play at the plate. The Giants walk it off in the bottom of the 12th. The decision to have Jung-Hoo Lee steal second proves to be a good one because he was already going. And by the time that ball was hit, Jung-Hoo Lee was prepared to storm across the bases. The Giants tie this series up at 1. There were times today I thought we were going to lose this game. After the 5th and 6th inning, not being able to score. In the 10th and the 11th innings, where the Rangers had a pair of runners on base. But we found a way to hang on and get the job done. Stone Garrett, the player of the game, that feels kind of weird. He really only had 1 big play. Granted, it was a very big one. But I guess that shows that nobody individual was all that great. It was a team effort. 2 runs, 9 hits for the Rangers. Their offense really struggled, not scoring over the last 8 innings. Corbin Burns was fantastic, and it's hard to blame the Rangers pitching. We ended up with 9 hits in this one, a handful of walks. The offense had some chances throughout this game and didn't consistently deliver up until the end with the walk-off hit by Donovan. Kyle Harrison was solid, and then look at the bullpen. Schreiber, Bautista, Romero, Duvall, Cabrera, all perfect. Rodriguez obviously was a little bit shakier, but he was the only of our 6 relievers to have allowed a base runner in this game. So we're tied at 1 going into Game 3. It looks like we're going to have a classic World Series. And Yel de los Santos is back healthy. That's good news. He's been a little bit banged up. We did pitch him in Game 1. He looked pretty solid. But now he's fully healthy. So that is no longer a worry. Everything is bigger and better in the state of Texas. Hopefully, except for their ball club. This Rangers fan base knows how much this team wants this. The Rangers are back in the World Series for a 4th time in the last 6 years, but they haven't won the trophy since 2023. As for us, we're coming off an emotional walk-off win. The offense was certainly not as good as it was in Game 1, but the pitching was a lot better. It looked more like the pitching we've been accustomed to throughout the postseason. The talented rookie lefty Alejandro Ordóñez will take the mound against his Dominican counterpart, Fernando Molina. Let's take a look at both lineups. Patrick Bailey finally getting an opportunity to start, with it being the lefty Ordóñez. He was a subscriber-made international prospect, had his rookie year this year, showed some flashes. In 2 postseason starts, though, it's been rocky. More walks than strikeouts, ERA at around 6, whip above 2. He looks like a rookie. I'm a little bit surprised the Rangers are still this confident in him to start a pivotal game in the World Series, where somebody's going to take a 2-1 series lead. Stone Garrett with 2 away, sends it high and deep and a right. At the track, it is gone! Garcia does not make the play, and the Giants strike first. It's 1-0. At Oracle Park, that is certainly not a home run. I did not think that ball off the bat had any chance of making it over the fence, but it does. Stone Garrett might finally be back. A pair of home runs in each of the last 2 games. He's still got to be more consistent, but we're getting the Stone Garrett we got in the regular season. Murakami strikes out on the sinker. Good opening inning, though, with the homer by Garrett. And the fact that we're starting things early on offense is a big deal because through Fernando Molina's first 3 postseason starts, he's led up at least 1 run in the first inning of all 3 of those games. Now, after the first inning, he has been dominant. Strikeout rate at around 30. 1.14 whip. It's just about starting games early. That has been his issue as he strikes out Geraldo Perdomo for the second out of the inning. Corey Seager is now up for the Rangers. Count is even 2-2. Seager has been up and down so far offensively in the World Series as he goes down on the running fastball. For the first time here in the postseason, Fernando Molina does not allow a run in the first inning. Is that a sign of things to come, or will we get the inverse and he struggles after the first? Hopefully the former. Ian Happ down the line, fair ball. Leading off the second with a hit. Thought about second for a shot minute, but he's going to head back to first. So we'll lead off runner here with nobody away. Kyler Rodriguez getting the start at first base. His postseason average only 133 as he goes down on the fastball. Nice pitch by Ordóñez. Not known for his strikeout stuff. He doesn't throw super hard, but he's a pretty technically sound pitcher, even if he hasn't shown it in the postseason, as Leody Taveras singles in to right. Taveras knows how bad this fan base wants to win this title. He's obviously been here throughout their World Series losses in this series. 2 on, 2 away for Brendan Donovan getting the start as well, as it is caught in left by Stephen Kwan. So the Rangers get out of the inning as the Giants leave a pair. Ordóñez has not looked great so far. He hasn't been bad, but he hasn't necessarily been all that good either. Ketel Marte will lead things off here in the bottom of the second as he goes down on the running fastball. Quick start for Fernando Molina. He looks really solid up to this point. The 26-year-old in his first career World Series game. 5 years the elder of the 21-year-old Alejandro Ordóñez as Nathaniel Lowe strikes out. Looking to strike out this side. 1-2 for Josh Young. Got him looking. 3 Ks in a row. That's only a good thing in baseball. Fernando Molina gets through the second. 6 up, 6 down. As that will bring us into the third. Top of the order up for San Francisco. Tommy Rogers hits this one well for a base hit into left. This is the matchup I like with Rogers. A lefty who doesn't throw super hard. Rogers can get overpowered at times by guys who throw really fast. Ordóñez does not. Murakami single into center with 2 away. Rogers makes it to third, and once again, for a second straight inning, we've got 2 runners aboard. This has been our kryptonite, though, throughout the World Series. I guess it turned from the bases loaded being our problem to 2 runners on. Ian Happ, in particular, is a guy who's really struggled with runners on base, and sure enough, grounds it to short. Seager bobbles it, and he still makes the throw. That could have been bad news for the Rangers. A good recovery off of a near-catastrophic error from Corey Seager. 3 innings of 1-run ball for Ordóñez. It hasn't been pretty, but it's hard to complain with that output. The problem is the Rangers' offense isn't getting anything done. Garcia does hit it to the warning track, but it is caught for the first out of the inning by his former outfield compadre, Leody Taveras. Jefferson Caro now 0 for 5, 4 strikeouts in the last game. Here he's looking a lot better. Base hit into center, first base runner of the entire game for the Rangers. And so they've got a man on here with 2 away. And that's going to send us back to the top of the order. Stephen Kwan. Count is even, 1-1. Liner down the third base line and fair. I was hoping that would kind of curve off the wall. Doesn't do so. Kwan over to second. Caro safe at third. And all of a sudden, things just got real interesting. Pair of runners in scoring position. A gigantic at-bat upcoming for Geraldo Perdomo. The Rangers are going to need some runs here. This is their best chance to do it so far. Full count for Perdomo. Swing and a miss on the running fastball. That's 3 scoreless for Fernando Molina. He's pitched a really strong game, although it got a little dicey in that inning. And that'll bring us into the fourth. Kyler Rodriguez is up here with 1 away. Rodriguez down the line, fair ball, base hit. Kyler is aboard, takes the turn. He heads back to first, though. Gonna make the smart choice there. And so he's aboard with 1 away. And that'll send us to the bottom portion of the lineup, the 9-hitter Brendan Donovan. We started him over Jose Ramirez and J.P. Crawford in large part due to his defense as he grounds out over to second. That's 3 consecutive scoreless frames for Ordonez for a guy who's been inconsistent as a 21-year-old rookie, hasn't been all that good in the postseason, and is now pitching in his first career World Series game. I've been impressed. He's allowed a lot of base runners, but he's getting out of innings unharmed for the most part. Ketel Marte goes down on the fastball. Fernando Molina also looking quite good for this being his first World Series game. Nathaniel Lowe is ahead in the count, 3-1. He draws a walk and reaches here with 2 away. We'll see if the Rangers can get another 2-out rally going, and we'll see if they can actually score off of it. Josh Young, full count. He sends this one into left center. Leody Taveras will call Rogers off under it and will make the play. 4 scoreless for Molina. I'm not sure how long we're going to have him pitch. He's a guy who shouldn't really go longer than 5 or 6 innings to begin with. Tommy Rogers in the 5th. Down the line and fair. His second hit of the game. Again, he excels against lefties who throw soft, who throw breaking balls. That's the exact type of pitch he likes. I'm surprised he didn't hit it better. Only getting a double. Nonetheless, we've got our fastest runner in scoring position, and it looks like we're going to drive him in. Jun-Hoo Lee singles into center. Rogers scores without much of an issue. And the Giants add to the lead. It's 2-0. Jun-Hoo Lee's postseason batting average is still above 500. That's wild. Stone Garrett up the middle, and this just quickly became a buzzkill. Double play. We had an opportunity, I feel like, to really get something going in that inning, and ultimately do not. Great. Munetaka Murakami, full count, 2 away, and he draws a walk. Not an easy pitch to lay off. That was kind of the close one, and that will be it for Alejandro Ordonez. 4 2/3 innings. He's let up a pair of earned runs so far. He did allow 8 hits. That was the one knock. A lot of base runners, and if he were to allow 8 hits within that stretch, again, I would like to think we would get more than 2 runs. But he was able to get out of jams. He was really solid for the most part with 2 outs. He'll be replaced by Owen White, who has not pitched since the regular season. An interesting decision to put him in such a pivotal spot of the series where the series is tied at 1. They're losing in the game 2-0. But I guess that decision, at least for this inning, works out. Ian Happ grounds out to second. Ezekiel Duran makes the play. Giants add to the lead, though, as Jun-Hoo Lee brings home the run. Bottom half of the 5th, Adolis Garcia gets things started, and he goes down on the curveball. Nasty movement by Fernando Molina, his 8th K of the day. Truly one of the best strikeout artists in Major League Baseball. His K rate amongst the best in terms of big league starters. Jefferson Caro with 2 away, hits it well into left. That's not going to be enough. Rogers is under it. 5 scoreless for Fernando Molina. I would expect the Giants take him out here. Really, really good showing tonight from Molina. If this series goes deep, I wouldn't be surprised if he pitches again, maybe a Game 7 like the NLCS. But that's it for his season. What a year for the 26-year-old all-star caliber righty. Blake Sabol opens up the 6th with a single. He comes in off the bench, replacing Patrick Bailey now that there's a right-handed pitcher in the game. And Sable makes the most of his late entrance. Kyler Rodriguez clobbers this one into right center field. That baby's out of here. And the San Francisco Giants doubled the lead. It's 4-0. His second home run of the playoffs, 420 feet. Blaze it. Exit velo of around 104. And San Francisco now, for the first time, really probably since the Dodgers series, are in a game where they sort of lead comfortably. And I get that it's only a 4-run deficit, but with the Rangers' offensive struggles, I think we're in a good spot. Let's put ourselves in a better spot. Tommy Rogers hits it well into left, into the second deck, and it's 5-0. His team-leading fifth home run of the playoffs, 438 feet. We've got to talk about this playoff run that Tommy Rogers is on. Jung-Hoo Lee's getting the attention, and deservedly so. But Tommy Rogers has been clearly our second-best player. And if we look at the last 4 games, reached base 4 times in Game 7 against Atlanta. Got on 4 times in Game 1 of the World Series. Got on twice in Game 2. And now today, 3 hits including a homer. Cole Winn is going to come out of the bullpen to replace Owen White. Clearly, he should not have been the guy they brought in. As Jung-Hoo Lee's going to line this one into left. That'll be caught by Kwan. Big inning, though. 2-run shot by K-Rod. Solo shot by Rogers. And if you're a Rangers fan, you've got to be a little bit worried. The Rangers are on quite the drought. I believe it's now 13 consecutive innings since they've scored, dating back all the way to the 4th inning of Game 2. Obviously, we have to keep in mind the 3 extra innings of Game 2 where they got nothing. So Molina's day is done, as I said, and the added runs gives us even more of a reason to take him out. Joel Payamps will replace him. He pitched in Game 1 of the World Series, and like Bautista and Romero, was not very good. Steven Kwan to the track at the wall. It is caught by Garrett, running into the wall at the end, but he is still able to come down with a pretty impressive catch. Corey Seager is now up with 2 away. They need some big hits from Seager, who's an all-time playoff performer, but hasn't been that great against San Francisco, and he goes down on the slider. 6 scoreless for the Giants pitching staff. We're in a good spot with 3 to go, but we cannot let our guard down. Just because we're out hitting them 11-2 doesn't mean this game's over. The fun thing about baseball is all it takes is one really hot inning for things to change drastically, even with our elite bullpen. Garrett here in the 7th, 3-1, gets a pitch he likes, and he churns it out for a single to lead off the inning into right center field. Let's keep stacking base runners. Let's keep adding more runs. I will not be satisfied until this game is over. Full count now for Munetaka Murakami. 1 for 2. Also drew a walk, but he goes down on the changeup. Does Munetaka Murakami think the dirt is part of the strike zone? I get that pitch wasn't in the dirt, but he swings at a lot of the low stuff. 1 away for Happ. He goes down on the changeup. Cole Winn has been pretty good since entering the game. Might not matter if the Rangers offense continues to stay asleep at the wheel like they are a Georgia football player. Point remains. 2-1 for Sabol into the opposite field. This one's going to roll all the way to the corner. Deflects off the foul pole. We're going to keep Stone Garrett at third. He would have been out at the plate. No reason to do something rash. And now we've got 2 on, 2 away. Sabol with a pair of hits off the bench tonight. Remember, he did not enter this game until the 5th inning. Kyler Rodriguez homered his last time up. Should not have swung at that one, but still gets it to the warning track where it's caught by Adolis Garcia. The Giants get 2 runners aboard, unable to drive them in as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Scott Rios is warming up. I'm thinking about putting him in. I think it's a little too early for that. We're going to roll with Aniel de los Santos. His second postseason appearance, he faced off against a couple of batters in Game 1 of the World Series. He looked pretty solid. I still want to be smart with him, given the fact that he hasn't really pitched much over the last 2 months. As Ketel Marte gets it to second. Happ blocks it. Throw to first, not in time. Leadoff single for Marte. We also have Camilo Doval warming up in case things get a little bit fishy. He might be the first guy we turn to, just because he's the guy we happen to have warming up right now. Josh Young strikes out. Bautista and Romero have pitched so much. If we can give them the day off, I would want to do that and would just rather use Doval. Adolis Garcia over to second. Happ makes the play, another scoreless frame. Good work from Aniel de los Santos. He's looked good since coming back from his groin injury. And that will bring us into the 8th. Still a 5-0 lead. The Giants looking to hang on and take a 2-1 World Series lead. To think we could and maybe even should be down 0-2 right now. TJ Anton out of the bullpen here in the 8th inning for the Texas Rangers. 5.4 ERA and 6 2/3 postseason innings. He would have allowed 4 runs in that span if my math is correct. Leody Taveras leads things off, splits it between the third baseman and the shortstop for a leadoff single, and the Giants start the inning with an early runner. As I said earlier, I'm not satisfied with the lead at 5. I want more. J.P. Crawford comes in off the bench, replacing Brendan Donovan. He hits it to the warning track, where it is caught for the first out of the inning by Stephen Kwan. I thought that one might have enough carry towards the beginning. Unfortunately, it does not. 3 consecutive base hits for Rogers. He's looking for a 4th. Wild pitch, gets by Caro, and Leody Taveras makes it over to second base with no problem. So we'll see if Tommy Rogers can bring him in now that he's in scoring position. Rogers, the last time up, homered into the second deck. As this one goes into right for a single, we're going to send Taveras. The throw from Garcia is in time. The Giants want to be aggressive, and it backfired. Still got to shout out Tommy Rogers, though. Base hits in each of the last 4 at-bats. I think he's 8 for 15 in the World Series. Deflected by Lowe. Scoop over to the pitcher is not in time. Good hustle by Jung-Hoo Lee. He will continue to keep his average above 500. First and second now. Stone Garrett looking to put a bow on this game. Up the middle, off of Anton's foot. And the throw is high, but Lowe makes the snag in his glove. Again, that could have been a base hit if the Rangers pitcher doesn't deflect it or block it with their body. As we go into the 8th, we're going to bring in Scott Rios. With a 5-0 lead, I would rather conserve the other arms we have in the bullpen. Now, if this game gets the itty-bittiest closer, we're yanking him for Duvall. But I want to be able to have Rios pitch the last 2 innings so we can save our other guys and so he can get some World Series experience. As Duran hits it into center, Taveras completely misplays it. A rare defensive miscue from the Gold Glover, and Ezekiel Duran opens up the inning with a triple. Should have been a single, but now he's 90 away from home. If the Rangers get even a couple more base runners, we will probably make a pitching switch. Jefferson Caro, 1-2, swinging a miss on the fastball. Good pitch by Scott Rios. That one clocks in at 95. Back to the top of the order. Got a couple lefties due up, including Stephen Kwan. Goes down on the fastball. Now Geraldo Perdomo. He's been an automatic out against righties in the playoffs and an automatic hit against lefties. He's going to keep it going. This one's going to go for extra bases and will score the run. The shutout is over. The Rangers are finally on the board after not scoring in each of the last, 8 innings of Game 1. And now nearly 8 innings of Game 2. It's been 16 innings since they've last scored. Corey Seager checks his swing, went around. Rios only lets up the 1. And I think the plan is we might keep him in the 9th. I don't know. 4 runs is a little bit close. If this is not a regular season game in August, guys, this is the World Series. We're going to make a switch if we need to. River Ryan out of the pen here for the Rangers through 2 scoreless extra innings in Game 2 as he strikes out Munetaka Murakami. One of the few bright spots for the Rangers through this episode as he now faces off against Ian Happ. 1 for 4 in this one is Happ today. Behind 1-2, liner into right. That one goes for hit number 17. Yes, our 17th hit of the game. Just 40 minutes ago, we were no hit through 4.5 innings. What has changed? Kyler into center, at the wall. That one's gone. 7-1. San Francisco adds to the lead. Kyler's second home run of the postseason, and that might be the clincher for this game. What a performance from Kyler. 3 hits, 2 homers. I think he's driven in 4 runs now. He has had himself a night. If it was still 5-1, I would have thought about making a switch pitching-wise, but with the 2-run homer, I feel more confident keeping Scott Rios in, at least for now, as Adolis Garcia flies out to left, caught by Rogers, 2 outs away from taking a 2-1 series lead. Nathaniel Lowe grounded to first. Rodriguez deflects it. Looks to send it over to Rios in time. And the Rangers are down to their final out of the game. Josh Young. Full count. 3-2. This one is skied into right. Stone Garrett is under it. The Giants win Game 3 of the World Series and take a 2-1 series lead. We win both games today and are 2 wins away from finally winning that World Series. And that means in the next episode, with the assumption that I will play Games 4 and 5, we would have an opportunity to clinch a World Series title. How exciting is that? We would have to win both games on the road. Certainly not going to be easy, but that is pretty exciting. Unlike the first 2 games, which were quite competitive, this one was not a blowout. We out-hit them 18-5. We should have scored more than 7 runs. Kyler Rodriguez led the way. 2 homers, drove in 4 runs. Tommy Rogers had 4 hits, including a homer. It's great seeing our high draft picks delivering on the big stage. Really good start by Fernando Molina. He threw 5 scoreless. The bullpen did their job. The Rangers' offense was not good. Their pitching was not very good either. Overall, a really, really good showing, and hopefully we can keep it going. I think the plan for Games 4 and 5 is that Sandy Alcantara and Mason Miller will start in some order. In the NLCS, I had Miller go in Game 4 and Alcantara go in Game 5, but it might make sense to switch them. Let's say this series goes 7. I would want Sandy Alcantara to be available. He wasn't in Game 7 of the NLCS. So thinking ahead, I think might be the move, and certainly something I'm thinking about, but I haven't necessarily decided. Hope everybody enjoyed. Hope everybody is ready for the next episode where we will have an opportunity to win our first World Series title of this series. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Peace out.